All right. Well, good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants event. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I will be your host. This is going to be a crazy week. We have so much going on. We have our World Ocean Week events. So I think we're up at 16 World Ocean Week events. We also have our Canadian Environment Week, which has another 11 live events. We also have our Early Career Ocean Professional events celebrating Canadian early career professionals. So it is just jam-packed. If you visit the website, exploringbytheseat.com, you can find all of the events that we do have coming up. More specifically, if you want to find the ocean events, go to the website and you can put in Ocean Week after Exploring by the Seat, and it'll take you right there. So we started things off this morning with a live trip to South Africa, to Sand Cobb, and we met some of the team there. We saw the South African penguins. We learned about the great rehabilitation work they are doing. Now we're going to visit one of our favorite crews to hang out with. We are going to spend some time with Dr. Pamela Fletcher and Martine Castellon. They are amazing marine scientists. They are team members from the Nicaragua Sea Turtle Project. Now they're just part of the team. There is an amazing team of women in Nicaragua who do incredible work day in and day out, patrolling beaches, collecting and relocating sea turtle eggs, and then checking them daily to see if they've hatched before releasing them on the beach and into the wild. So giving them an amazing chance of success. Over 100,000 eggs have been relocated. The success rate of the hatching and release is over 90%. They are doing amazing work and really showing how effective community conservation can be. So let's start bringing in some people from backstage. We've got Pamela here with us. How you doing, Pamela?
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Doing great.
It is great to have you with us. We have Martine here with us. Hey, Martine. All right. And I should say that we have a ton of classrooms with us. We've got classrooms backstage in camera spots. We have classrooms on YouTube, like a classroom from Calgary, Alberta here, from St. Isidore. We've got Mrs. Dahl's third graders from Newcastle, Ontario. Mr. Pettick's third graders from North Hollywood, California. So use that chat sidebar. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Send us in your questions as well. We will work them into the event. But I think we should just get things started. We're hoping we'll connect with the team in Nicaragua, but you never know. Connectivity sometimes doesn't always cooperate, so we'll see. But we have so much content today. We're going to learn all about the project. So maybe I'll let you jump in, Pamela, and you can tell us a little bit about, the project in general. And then I've got some great clips. I think we lost Martine, so hopefully he'll join back in shortly. But we'll let you get started. Tell us a little bit about the project.
Yeah, so the project began about 5 years ago on the Pacific coast of Nicaragua. Martine is from Nicaragua, so he has familiarity with the country and with many of the natural resources, from the mountaintops to the ocean. And the Sea Turtle Project itself began through a long history, probably 15 years for many of you. This was a time before you were born, but we started working on habitat restoration and conservation. And so 5 years ago, we met with the turtle team, a group of women and girls from Nicaragua who were interested in doing more with conservation efforts in the area. So taking some of the science and the knowledge from my background, we brought that to Nicaragua. Martine was extremely instrumental in providing the translation and a lot of the background information about this area and training the ladies and the girls about how to care for and monitor sea turtles, because we take the sea turtles, when the mamas come up to nest, the eggs that she lays, we move them into a hatchery. So it's this screened in area, and we'll share some pictures with you if we don't get to connect with the team. But we move the eggs into there for safety from predators. So dogs and other animals that live in the nature reserve where we work. And then about 45 days later, those little eggs have turned into hatchlings, and the hatchlings come out, and then there is a release to help those little hatchlings get to the ocean. So we have been extremely successful with the project. we've relocated, the team has, over 1,359 nests, and that's 104,688 eggs have been relocated. So about 120 eggs per nest with the species that we have in this location. And with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants last year during this event, the 100,000th egg, so they were collected off the beach, they were put into the nest, and we have had over 96,000 baby sea turtles have hatched out, and that's what you're seeing on your screen here. Little tiny, beautiful hatchlings to go to sea and hopefully return in several years to nest again for all the girls that are hatched. Yeah.
So I love those pictures. I'm going to scroll through them again. This is such a great shots of this release at sunrise and just a beach covered in these baby sea turtles. It's really, really cool. It's amazing work. What I thought I would do, because you just share those amazing numbers with us, almost 1,400 nest relocations, over 100,000 eggs relocated, almost 500 flippers tagged, and 96,000 hatchlings. It's absolutely amazing. I have a clip from the 100,000th release that we did together. So I think I should play that clip because it shows the whole process. It's the ladies and the girls at the beach heading over to the hatchery, and then what one of those release looks like live and in person. So I think I'm going to play that now. I can see Martin is backstage again, so he's back with us. I am going to play this awesome clip here. So I'm going to stop this screen share and put up this one instead. So it should be coming. There it is. Here we go.
Today in Las Peñitas Nature Reserve, East San Juan Venado. So all the hard work that Fabien and Dr. Fletcher just spoke about is thanks to the ladies. We'll introduce the ladies to you guys and the girls that made this happen. So we have
Buenos días, mi nombre es Belsi. Mi nombre es Araceli, buenos días. Ana, buenos días. Buenos días, mi nombre es Candy. Mi nombre es Moisés.
yeah. Diana.
Jennifer.
Okay, so say hi everybody. So we're gonna dig the cavity 45, right? 45 centimeters deep. So we'll excavate the nest. We try to do it just as the mama would.
Dar 48 huevos que son 4 docenas.
So we're gonna relocate 48 eggs from an olive ridley sea turtle. So you place the eggs very carefully. You put them around. You go building the nest.
Ya una vez que lo hemos puesto en el nido, procedemos a lo que es taparlo.
So now they're covering the eggs.
So this is the hatchery. You know, it's got lines all in there, guys. Every circle, we have a nest. So imagine how many babies we're gonna have. We're gonna do this, like the demonstration. This is real. Belky is gonna excavate the nest. Here they are. We have ¿cuánto? We have 48. Number 48 is gonna ser, ¿cuál número es? 100,000, digan 100,000. 100,000. So we'll do a countdown. Excavating the nest. Julio, aquí. Yes. So here we go. We're gonna start. No me paro entonces, bro, todos los huevos. 5, 5. 5, 4.
Uno va a poner.
Ese, uno, here we go. 4. 4.
3, 2.
Ahora sí, mire, duro. Se llama así. Here we go, guys. That's a 100,000 eggs
100,000.
to the hatchery, to safety. So en español digamos 100,000.
100,000.
100,000 eggs.
100,000.
Huevo.
The success rate is what we call it, where if we've planted 100,000 eggs, how many baby sea turtles have actually hatched out? And our program is extremely fortunate because of the care of the women and the girls every day checking nests and trying to purchase nests to put in the hatchery, that the success rate for last year was around 90%, which is over. It actually was a little bit over 90%, but that's very high. So we are very careful about reducing those vulnerabilities at this life stage. So again, super question.
Yeah, 90% compared to nature, barring of course human interventions and poaching, are much lower. Just by.
All right, so there we go. Let's bring Pamela, and I think we've got Martine back in here with us. That's one of my favorite clips. We were so lucky, so honored to be part of that 100,000th relocation. And you can tell too that it's a pretty isolated beach. You can tell that it's the signal isn't always great there, but it came through that day for us. So that was awesome. And this is one of my favorite items here I keep in my office. This is, I know you put this for each of the eggs. So we have the one from Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, nest number 30, I guess in 2023, and 108 Olive Ridley eggs relocated. That's pretty cool. Yeah, very awesome.
Yeah, you know, Joe, you mentioned something about this particular beach being like there's just not a lot of people. It's a nature reserve that the country of Nicaragua designated back in the 80s, I believe, and no one lives on this island. Mm-hmm. The indigenous communities, so the native peoples from this area, they are the only people that are supposed to be spending time up. There are tourism activities, but they're the only ones who are supposed to be going out to that island the way we understand and interpret the law there. But there's no buildings, it's just the trees, and it's a mangrove forest on the inside, so closer to the land, but on the ocean you can see it's the Pacific Ocean. Yep. It's pretty strong. So when those little guys go out, they have a tough time getting through those waves. And when the mamas come up to nest, a lot of times we see the mamas are helped by the waves that come up and go to nest on this beach. But it's a volcanic area as well. So the sand color, as you saw, was very dark because of the volcanic activity. And can I ask a question?
Of course.
So for all those classrooms out there, would anybody know the temperature changes and the influence on baby sea turtles as they're getting ready to hatch out through the process they go through when the mother lays the eggs till the time that they come out? there is a temperature influence on if they're boys or girls. Would any of the classrooms happen to know?
If whether warm or cold or what happens?
Yes, and I want you to be thinking about the relationship to the color of that sand as well, and what that might do for many of the sea turtles on the beach here at the nature reserve.
All
So
right.
I think like a two-part question.
It is a two-part question. If you think you might know how the warmer or cold can affect whether it's a boy or a girl turtle, why don't you put your hand up? I'll keep an eye out in the classrooms and see if somebody has an idea. You can put it in the chat as well. I think I see some hands in the Globetrotters in Louisiana. So let's see if someone has an idea.
Okay, talk.
If it's hot, it's a girl, and if it's cold, it's a boy.
I think it's like a certain one, it's a boy, but if it's like hotter or colder than that temperature, it's a girl, like crocodiles.
All right. How did they do, Pamela?
Yeah, amazing. And you brought an example with the crocodiles as well, other reptiles. So we have a little name jingle to remember this. We say they're hot chicks and guys. So guys are, there's more boys when it's cooler, and the hotter temperatures are the girls. So great job.
Good job, Globetrotters. And then I think that can bring problems too, because we are living on a changing planet right now, and we are seeing temperatures increase in places.
Yeah. And again, here in this part of Nicaragua where there's so much volcanic activity, and it's a dark sand beach. If some of you have traveled to Florida or the other islands in the Bahamas, primarily, it's a lighter sand. And so what do you think might be happening at this beach, this nesting beach, if it's darker sand? And what Joe is mentioning, is it going to be hotter or colder if that sand is dark?
Let's have a prediction here. I'm going to look for some hands in the camera and see who we need to go visit. I think maybe someone in Farmington might want to come up with an answer. What do you think, Missouri?
Well, Emma's not sure. What were you thinking?
If the sand's darker, then the sand would be warmer.
Okay, if it's darker, that the sand is warmer. So if the sand is warmer, then maybe it's more females?
Perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, great job, Farmington.
All right, good job.
All right. Good job, Missouri. So there are a few questions coming in. We're going to do our Kahoot in just a moment, but set the table for us. How many species of sea turtles are there, and how many nest in Nicaragua? So what could you expect in the hatchery?
So in the hatchery that we have, we tend to get 4 species of sea turtles. We've had 4 over the past 5 years. We have olive ridley sea turtles. Those are the most. We usually get many, many of those, hundreds. And then we may get Eastern Pacific green turtles and Eastern Pacific hawksbill sea turtles. And then the really, really big turtles are those leatherbacks. So we've had all 4 species nest at the beach that our turtle team works at.
Very cool. Okay. And then the female turtles come to the beach. Do they just do that once a year? Do they do it multiple times during the right season? How many times will those ladies show up?
Yeah. So Joe, that's a great question. So the team actually began putting little tags on the turtles, somewhat like an earring. So if you have earrings, it's very similar, because we wanted to learn, does this turtle return to this area of beach more than once each season? Typically, sea turtles do return, and among the species, they're a little different. The most we've ever had in the area was a leatherback. She returned 7 times. Wow. She didn't always nest every time, 5 nests. And then in the olive ridleys, maybe 2-3 times.
Okay. And I just heard a sound backstage. It looks like the team in Nicaragua has been able to connect. So We lost Martin. I don't think maybe just where he is, his signal isn't coming in for us, but I think we do have the team in Nicaragua. So let me see. Looks like they're just getting their camera ready. Let me see if they can hear and see us. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Buenos dias.
Buenos días, ¿cómo está?
Yeah, good. It's good to see you.
Hola, Queen.
All right. So we do...
Pamela, una pregunta.
Sí.
¿Estás viendo al grupo? ¿O me estás viendo a mí?
Es suyo.
Ah, ok.
All right. So we do have a connection. It looks like we'll be able to talk to for a little bit today. That's good.
¿Cómo lo vas a hacer? Esa es la pregunta. ¿Cómo girar esta cámara?
Ahí está rotativa, ya, ahí está rotativa. Ahí está rotativa.
Está bien, Queen.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. Yeah.
Soy Jonathan, Pamela.
Un poquito más cerca para escuchar bien.
I love you.
So here's the team in Nicaragua this morning. Some of our team, not everybody could be present, but we've got a lot, most of the group that are taking care of those turtles every year.
Yeah, let me bring our classes in and let's see if they can be a little loud and say good morning to the team in Nicaragua. So I'm going to bring some classrooms in. If you want to get a little bit loud, say good morning to our crew joining us today. It is a packed house today. We have a lot of students. All right, I'm going to tuck our classrooms away. We're going to come to questions soon. But yeah, let's have the team share a little bit of what they do. Let's hear it right from the team.
Okay, bueno, Queen, lista. Saludos a todos de
Hola, buenos días, de Nicaragua, saludos a todos.
So the team is saying good morning, hello, and that's Araceli. She's our lead lady. Okay, Queen.
No, Jonathan.
Oh, it's Jonathan. Okay, gracias.
Buenos días, entonces vamos a dar inicio, ¿verdad? Bueno.
Oh, and I think we have Martine back in. Hey, Martine.
Hey, how are you, Joe?
Good. We lost you, but we got you back just in time for some translation action. The team just joined us.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, we're ready.
Okay, tan listo, Jonathan, que principien.
O sea, entonces, ¿qué? ¿Iniciamos?
Sí, inicien, sí.
Ya.
Muy buenos días. Saludos, ¿verdad? Nuevamente desde Nicaragua. Estamos reunidos aquí con el grupo, una parte del grupo que trabajamos en la que es la conservación de tortuga marina. Vamos a hacer una demostración en este lugar, lo que hacemos en el campo. Bueno, lo primero que hacemos, ¿verdad? Es cuando sale nuestra tortuga del océano, es observar que ella no traiga ninguna lesión en su caparazón.
So, good morning from Nicaragua. They're saying they're going to show us some of the work they do with the sea turtles when they go out at night and walk around to go relocate their eggs and do the slipper tagging. So they're going to continue to start showing us the process. The first thing they do is when they see a sea turtle, they let it come up to shore, and all by herself, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes till she can find her nest or her area where she's going to nest. After that, once they walk up to the sea turtle, when she's done doing her nesting, they go ahead and check if the sea turtle has any injuries before we begin to work on it, with it. Okay. Jonathan, ya.
Observamos, ¿verdad? Que ella no traiga ninguna reventadura en su caparazón, tanto en la parte de arriba como en la parte de abajo. Y luego, ¿verdad? Procedemos a trabajar en ella. Observamos en sus aletas también que no traiga ninguna lesión, ¿verdad? Y procedemos a lo que es a desinfectar el equipo de trabajo, agarramos algodón, procedemos a ponerle desinfectante y desinfectamos la tenaza de trabajo. Luego procedemos a mirar. Nosotros le ponemos, le llamamos aquí en Nicaragua la chapa y observamos su código, que es el número NI 0815. Nuestra compañera Belki apunta el código. Esto lo hacemos, lo realizamos, ¿verdad? Para ver si nuestra tortuga viene nuevamente a nuestra playa o hoy emigra a otro lugar.
Va a traducir, ok.
So, so they continue to first inspect the sea turtle, then they check her flipper tags. Where we're gonna put this, like Dr. Fletcher called it, an earring, and that marks the sea turtle, and that's how we learn a lot about the sea turtle. We learn if she comes back a couple of times to nest. It depends on the species. They come back 2 to 3 times to nest in the same season. Also, this tag has a code and a number and an email. So when the sea turtle arrives in another country, another area, they contact us and we know how far she traveled. Once everything is clean and disinfected, all the equipment, and the tools that you use to put in this earring, as we call it, is actually a flipper tag. Then we go ahead and install it. After we are done, we get the code and the number for that sea turtle.
Luego procedemos, ¿verdad?, a desinfectar su aleta derecha y aplicamos una segunda escama, el código de la chapa. Luego nuevamente, ¿verdad?, ya puesta ahí, volvemos a desinfectar. Miramos el número de código de la chapa nuevamente y es la NI 0816. Lo ponemos números impares. Belki nos ayuda, ¿verdad? Porque somos un equipo de trabajo. Y nuevamente desinfectamos y volvemos a realizar lo que hicimos en el otro procedimiento.
We continue to put a second tag on. We put one in the right and the left flipper. A few reasons for that. One is if one gets lost, they have another. And then that way we can have more control. If we only put one, it gets lost, and we don't know if she came back or not. So we put even numbers on the right and evens on the left. Once we have tagged the sea turtle, we are ready to she's ready to go back into the ocean. After she lays her nest and we work with her, it takes about 10 minutes and then she's ready to go out. While they're nesting, they go into like this dormant stage that they don't move too much, and that's when we do the work that we do. Sometimes we get a little too late, and she's already on her way back, and we don't disturb her. So we have to catch her at the right time. Timing is everything, and of course, the safety of the sea turtle is number one for us.
Seguimos.
Sí.
Ya nuevamente, ¿verdad? Venimos a proceder lo que es la medición de su caparazón. Esto lo hacemos bien para ver si ella está joven o ya es más adulta. Y ella mide su caparazón de largo 65 centímetros. Procedemos a medir su ancho. Ancho curvo. Su ancho curvo mide 70. Esto lo hacemos cuando ella está desobando porque ella está quieta.
We continue to work. Another part of the work that we do is we measure the sea turtle. This helps us with learn about their age. We've learned that the smaller the sea turtle, the smaller the width and the length, the younger. And then as we measured many of them that come up. The numbers vary. This one measures 65 centimeters by 14 or 24. So as the numbers goes up, we think that is an older sea turtle. That's that's what we measure them to find out their age and how far have they come along.
Una vez ya extraído su huevecillo, ella puso 48 huevitos. Vamos a proceder a lo que es el pesaje.
So once she lays her eggs, we relocate the eggs. We very carefully go after she's done and relocate the eggs. And one of the main reasons is in Nicaragua, where the project is, the shore, there's not a lot of shore, and the ocean is very strong. So if we leave these eggs out there, the current will take them. That's one. Another one is poacher. There's a lot of animals out there. It's a natural area, so we protect them from animals too. The next step we do is we weigh it. And we weigh it also, and it helps us learn her age, or see if we get the same turtle back with the tag and she's lost weight, maybe something's wrong with her, or maybe she's, we write all the information down and we, try to ask experts on the suggestions. So here we weigh the sea turtle. That's the last step, and we record it in the book next to her tag numbers. Every sea turtle has a tag number that we encounter with all her information on our files.
Nuestra tortuga ha pesado 12 kilos. 12 kilos es su peso. Procedemos, ¿verdad?, a quitarlas nuevamente con mucho cuidado.
Once she's weighed, very carefully we remove her from the weight equipment that we have, and we place her, we let her go on the ground, and she goes on her way back to the ocean. And all this information is very important to everyone. That we learn about the health, the age, and of course the location if she comes back. If she gets stranded on a net, sometimes if they do, they let us know and they free them. So very important information goes with this work.
Ya una vez pesada nuestra tortuga, ya se va al océano y nosotros vamos a proceder a lo que es la incubación de su huevecillo. Vamos con nuestra técnica y el grupo a sembrar sus huevos.
So now we're gonna, give you guys let you see how we relocate the nest, how Belky go ahead and excavates the nest. She mimics what the sea turtle does. We have learned that the nest depends on the species, begins wider on the top and narrow on the bottom. We've also learned from relocating how she lays the eggs, so we try to place them back kind of the same way, spread out at the bottom, closer on the top.
Procedemos con nuestra técnica de campo, en lo que es la siembra de su huevecillo. Vamos a proceder lo que es la siembra. Vamos a hacer un nido de 45 centímetros de profundidad.
So the nest is 45 centimeters deep. It depends on the species. Like Dr. Fletcher mentioned, the Eastern Pacific greens are a little bigger, so they dig a little deeper. The big mamas, the leatherbacks that are really big, they make a big, huge hole, a lot bigger than the olive ridley. So this one is an olive ridley, so it's 45 centimeters deep by 12 centimeters wide at the bottom, and then it comes up like an upside down cone. and then they place the eggs very carefully in the nest.
Dale.
Vamos a proceder a sembrar los huevos.
Se mira bien, don Martín.
Sí, se mira muy bien, gracias. So we record. This nest has 48 eggs. So we record those eggs, and it goes into the hatchery in each location that's marked for each turtle.
Ok, sí se ve ahí.
Se ve
Se
bien,
ve.
se ve bien. Sí, se
Ahí
ve.
está.
As you can see, she's placed
Hemos,
all the eggs.
hemos sembrado 48 huevos, que es equivalente a 4 docenas. Vamos a proceder a lo que es la incubación.
So once she placed all the eggs, she covers the nest. She takes the wet sand that came out first, puts it in first, and then the second layer of sand until you get to the top. You put the warm sand on the top, like the sea turtle would do, like nature.
Una vez ya sembrado el nido, esperamos 45 centímetros, esperamos 45 días para que nuestras tortugas eclosionen.
After relocating the nest, olive reels take 45 days to hatch. It varies 42, 43, 45 days in that range. So after that, the babies will hatch, they'll start coming up, and then we will, help them get out and collect them, and then we bring him to the ocean and release him 45 days later.
Esto lo hacemos, ¿verdad? Lo realizamos en el campo de trabajo y lo realizamos con mucho amor y agradecemos a ustedes, al equipo de trabajo, que hacen posible, ¿verdad?, hacer donaciones para que se puedan conservar lo que es la tortuga marina. Muchas gracias.
They're very happy to do this work. They love doing it. They do it with all their love. And they look forward to working this year. It's our new season. And they thank everybody very much for all your support and learning about sea turtles and giving them the chance to show you guys what they do in Nicaragua.
All right. I think our team deserves a round of applause for an awesome demonstration. Let's see if we can bring some classrooms in. So cool. Joining us this week in Nicaragua doing such amazing work. Thank you so much. All right. I better get to some Q&A action. So I'm going to start tucking classrooms away. And I think we need to do some questions. So the Kahoot, I'm going to save the Kahoot and I'm going to send the link to all of the classrooms after today's event. So that way you can do it in your classroom and you can compete against each other in the classroom and see who comes out on top. So I will email that link right after the event ends today because I want to make sure we have lots of time for some questions. So let's start with our Globetrotters in Louisiana and see if they have a question for us.
All right, say it nice and loud. How much eggs which is the most eggs that a turtle ever laid?
Okay, so what's the most eggs that have come out of one nest?
That's a good question.
Do you guys know that number offhand? The most eggs from one nest.
For the nests in Nicaragua, I think, Martine, our highest number was 142. Oh, we may have lost him.
I think we just lost Martine's connection.
Yeah, that would be an olive ridley nest. But remember, some of the other species of sea turtles can lay hundreds and several hundred, over 300 eggs. It depends on her age, her species. So there's many factors. But for us with the olive ridley sea turtles, it's usually, we usually have about 120 in most nests, but 142 was the greatest number of eggs I remember. So great question.
All right. We've got some second graders hanging out with us. Hey, grade twos. How are we doing today? I think I saw someone run up. Oh, there they come. There they are.
Oh my gosh.
No, here, right here. What's your question, Tori?
What is the least amount of eggs from a turtle?
So we heard the biggest, I think you guys have had is 142. They're wondering if you've ever found any really small nests with just a few eggs.
Yes. And so sometimes when the mama's coming up to lay her nest, if she gets scared or she doesn't like the beach area, she may dig the nest, but not put any eggs in there. So 0 would be the least. But sometimes what we've noticed is that there's 7 eggs or very few. We had a leatherback nest a few years ago that it was very few and the eggs were not fully formed. We believe because of the measurements that she was a smaller sea turtle. So she was young and she wasn't fully developed yet.
Awesome question, grade 2s. Pamela, do you want to, if the team wants, they don't have to sit in the sun. I don't want them to get too hot in the sun. They can go back in the shade if they want to.
Okay, Jonathan, está bien. Terminando con esa parte en el sol. Por favor, moverse en la sombra, pero por favor, junto con nosotros.
Yeah, I don't want them to get too warm. I know it's probably getting pretty hot in that sun. So we don't want to have to keep them there too long. Mrs. Koffeld's crew, do you have a question for us? Let's get you guys in front and center.
Yeah, we sure do. Okay, go ahead and say it nice and loud and speak up.
How do you tell the difference between all the different types of turtles?
Ooh, that is a good question.
That's a great question. So we look at the shape of the shell of the sea turtle, coloring, their faces are all very different, and that's tied to what they might eat. So some, like hawksbills, they have more of a pointy beak at the front of their face. Olive ridleys, the nests that we get the most of, tend to be a smaller turtle and they're round, and you can count the scales on the back and you can see which type of sea turtle they are if you're not familiar in general with the shape. But so color and size and shape and the number of scales on her back, on her belly when she comes up to lay her nest can all be used to help determine sex.
All right. Great question.
Yeah.
Mrs. Olo's crew is hanging out with us backstage. How are we doing today?
We're good.
There they are. Awesome. Good to have you with us today. Do you guys have a question for us?
Anybody have a question? Who has a question? Anybody?
I can always come back and check a little bit later too if you guys want to think for a minute.
Go ahead, Sophia.
Sophia's coming. Excellent. What do you think, Sophia? Do you have a question for us?
How do you know if a sea turtle is going to have babies?
Oh, okay. So how do we know if a sea turtle, I imagine it's different than a human, right? You can see the belly start to grow. Does that happen in sea turtles? Is there a way to know?
No.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, for ours, the way we know, Sophia, and that's a great question, is she'll come to the beach to lay her nest. So for us, we only see those mamas when she's coming to the beach to lay her nest, but she doesn't look different than, once she lays her nest, she doesn't look different. But you've made me think about something we do is imagine over 100 eggs. We weigh the mama sea turtle, not always, because sometimes she's quick and she wants to go back to the ocean. But once she lays her nest, then the team work very quickly, like you saw on the example here today, and they'll weigh her. And so I do know that some people have weighed before and after, and it's weight of eggs, but you wouldn't know. She doesn't have a big belly like human beings. So that's a great question.
All right. Missouri, let's bring Farmington in. How are we doing, summer school?
Good. We have Riley and Jason. They kind of have a two-part question.
Perfect.
Why does the mother turtle leave the baby turtles when they're still eggs?
And
where do turtles normally lay their eggs on the beach?
Yeah, great question. So for the first question, where does she put her nest? Or where does she lay them? She'll leave her eggs in the nest and she will never see those little guys again, is what we think. They go out to sea. So the mama goes up to the beach, lays her eggs, and then she leaves her babies as the eggs, and they'll hatch out 45 days later. The other question that was asked, again, another just great questions today. Where on the beach does that mother lay her nest? Sometimes it's closer to the ocean, the water, and sometimes it's much higher and closer to the vegetation. Certain species of sea turtles will even go into the vegetation, so the shrubs and the bushes. For the olive ridleys, most of the time, the sea turtles will go to the highest water mark. They can sense, we believe they can sense the moisture and some other factors or characteristics of that soil, so they can see all the seaweed. There's a line of seaweed that's on the beach, and she'll lay her nest above that, so that we like to think the nest would be more protected from the water. Great question.
Yeah, good two-parter there. Miss Colburn's crew is hanging out with us today. If you want to go, I know. Oh, there they are. Perfect.
We're here.
All right. We're ready for you.
Okay, so we're really excited for this, and thank you for accommodating us today. It's important we do our drills, our school drills. So we're a remote class. Our students work from home, and every day we have to navigate through our learning and navigate to the teacher. That's me, okay? So we're just wondering, what are the tools that the turtles use to navigate their way in and out of the water, or finding a spot for their eggs?
So in and out of the water, again, good morning, and I'm glad you could join us after your drill. The sea turtles use something like a compass, I would say, if students are familiar with using a compass, and the magnetic fields. So as far as when they're moving around in the ocean, they have this sense. And if any of you saw Nemo, if you have watched that video, there's currents that are moving, and somehow those sea turtles, especially the mamas, they find their way back to the nesting beaches. We like to say it's in the vicinity of where she actually hatched out of the sand by using that magnetic compass. And then your question about even the hatchlings, when they come out of their nest, they crawl up out of that nest. Belky showed you it's about 45 centimeters deep. So up to your, maybe for an adult arm, up to your shoulder, that it's an arm's length. So when they come up and out, they appear to be looking for those clues, the ocean, the moon, because if they hatch out at nighttime, and they'll go towards the sea. So they're using their senses of smell, sight. So they will head to the beach with the little guys. Good question.
So we have Martine back with us. Hey, Martine.
How are you? Sorry about that.
That's okay. We have a ton of grade 2s with us in Edmonton, Alberta. So we have to pop in with them. Let's start with the first group that we have here down at the bottom. Hey, grade 2s.
How long is a turtle's lifespan?
Good question.
That's a great question. I am not sure. That's a question that we have to look for an answer. They say they go many years, over 100 years, but I am not 100% sure. I know it depends on the species, because we have seen them come up, tag, and they have lost weight and that kind of stuff. But to be exact, I am not sure. That's a great question. I would do some homework.
It's one of those things that, once they disappear into the ocean, we only see them occasionally, where we get a tagged one back and we know it's the same one. So I think you're right. I think people estimate that it's over 100 years, but we just don't know for sure yet. More science is what we need. Maybe some grade 2s out there doing research in the future. Another grade 2 class. I think we had 3 grade 2 classes in Edmonton today, but here's the third one. So let's grab another question. There they are. Hey, everybody.
Okay, Tash, go ahead.
Why does a girl hatch from a hot sand and why does a boy hatch from a cold sand?
That's a tricky question. Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Oh, so wondering, we talked a little bit how there's hot chicks and cool dudes. Do we know why the heat might make them more likely to be females, or why cooler is more males?
I know that makes a question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All I can say is that we're learning about that, and we use this little piece of equipment called hobos that we put in their nest, and we monitor the temperatures. But that's another great question.
Yeah, I think one thing that we're seeing here is that if anyone ever tells you there's nothing left to explore or discover, they don't know what they're talking about. We still have so many questions about animals and plants, our planet, the ocean. There's still so much. We need so many biologists and scientists and researchers to go out there and try to answer some of these questions for us that we just don't have those answers yet.
And Joe, I think something very important about this program and the partnerships that we've developed with the community and training individuals in Nicaragua, not only to conserve sea turtles, but to do science, to do research in this area. It's the first time there's been several years of a sea turtle program or project in an area with data and information. So this project there's other similar around the globe, but this is the first time we really have data and information from this particular nesting beach in Nicaragua. It's exciting. So don't give up hope. There's some neat exploring you can do.
And the university students help out. Some have been doing some thesis and research. I'll give you an example of one they're doing is called malformation. As we know, sometimes the little sea turtles come up with one flipper, one eye. So we're doing some more studies to learn more and more and more. And these are great questions, guys. We're going to write them down, and hopefully in the future we can answer them with all the data and ask more experts, other experts. And I mean, you guys, when you guys grow up, you guys will find out those answers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are at that time. I can't believe another event has flown by. Pamela, Martine, it is such a pleasure to have you with us. We love our events and we can't wait for the next one. To the whole team, the amazing girls and women and everybody else in the community who play such an important role in this project. Thank you so much for the work you do. And thank you for sharing it with us today. We love connecting with all of you on the beach and seeing your faces and your smiles and the great work that you do. Thank you so much. Gracias.
Joe, thanks for having us too.
Of course.
Thank you so much for always letting the team.
I'm going to bring in our classes as well if they want to say goodbye and thank you for today. I'm going to fit as many of them as I can. The screen is so full. We have so many classes today. I have to take some classes out to fit other classes in. We are jam-packed today. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to sign off for today. Happy World Ocean Week.
Thank you.